Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news. Joining BJ Rains today is KTIK 95.3 FM The Ticket's Mike Prater. Listen to Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the Ballgame. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 95.3 FM The Ticket and online at KTIK.com. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktails Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Now, here's Mike Prater and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Thursday to you, Bronco Nation News Live, coming at you, BroncoNationNews.com from the Cutwater Studios. Mike Prater is with me for his Thursday appearance. Always the best appearance of the week. How you doing, Mike?
You say that to every guest, every morning, every day.
No comment, but no, I always love Thursdays. Love catching up with Mike. Love the column, but we do have a comment right out of the gates. I saw AP is wondering, do I still get a basketball if I sign up for a subscription? About that, Mike. I just knocked over the mic here, but we have 2 basketballs left. So the answer to that is yes. If you want a Tyson Degenhart autographed basketball right there, autographed by Tyson, Idaho Central Credit Union, cool little NIL number 2 basketball with his name on it. Yes, if you can do it today, AP, and email me, rains@BroncoNationNews.com. Say you were the one that signed up, and I will hook you up with the basketball. $70. You got to do the yearly subscription though, because these are high quality balls right here. But we actually have like 2 or 3 of these. So if you're interested and you want a autographed Tyson Degenhart basketball, just sign up for a subscription at BroncoNationNews.com today. Help us pay Mike Prater's fat salary, and we will hook you up with a basketball at BroncoNationNews.com. We got Nate saying good morning. A lot of people excited. Mike, we are full disclosure missing practice right now. It is open to the media. We wanted to we're that dedicated to our craft here that we wanted to make sure folks were not waiting till later this morning to get their show. So they are in full pads. Nice day outside. Getting ready for scrimmage number 2 on Saturday. And we are here for the next 27 minutes or so talking football. So always we talk on the field, we talk where, but happy to be in the studio this morning. And we both of us have a lot going on. You guys have a loaded show today, I know. And we got some stuff going on with Bronco Nation News as well. There will be some interesting interviews today. I know one of the folks I'm looking forward to catching up with, Keanohi Kaniho, is going to talk to the media. He's got some family and friends that were displaced from the wildfires in Maui. And so obviously he's from the Honolulu area, I believe, or from a different island, but he's got some family and friends in Maui. So we'll talk to him about the wildfires and things. So Boise State's putting him up today. I believe Tyler Crow is on the list for today, and Cortez Hogan's a defensive end talking today as well.
BJ, it's always good to be with you, my friend, although I'm a little fired up because I've seen every second of every single practice so far, and it took you to drag me away from that. So I blame you on that. But you can make it up to me, and I'll write you a free column if you give me one of those basketballs. I mean, $70 subscription, that's not a bad deal, but I'll give you a free column. One of those basketballs, pretty cool deal. I want one of those suckers. Come on now.
Idaho Central Credit Union making it happen here, and that's with the whole NIL deal. I mean, look at that. He's got his own little logo on the ball there and his number, and then there's the Tyson Degenhart signed ball. So, yeah, if you're on the fence about a subscription, go subscribe. We'll hook you up with a basketball. I know you guys have some stuff in the studio there, Mike. Do you have room for one of these somewhere in there?
Heck yeah. We'll make room for one of those things. We'll put
we'll
it right next to
we'll see
We'll put it right next to his autograph and his picture here in the studio.
All right, we'll see what we can do. Ideally we have none left, and I'll reach back out to ICCU if we can get a couple of these suckers given away to subscribers today. But we'll see what we can do. Prater, we actually have fans. Nate says Prater and BJ, let's freaking go. So Perry says BNN with two of the best in the business. Go Broncos. So I don't know what
nice.
Folks must have woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. They're praising us, Mike Prater.
We'll ruin that. It'll give us about 4 more minutes, and we can switch that around a little bit.
Well, we appreciate JP helping us get on today. It is a Thursday edition of Bronco Nation News Live. Our viewership has continued to go up the last 4 weeks. I'm not sure if it was the announcement of Mike Prater and Jordan Kay. I don't know if it was the Canada trip. I don't know if it was conference realignment. Our good looks. I don't know the reason, Mike, but we have seen a massive increase in traffic to the website, a massive increase in our social media following and our views on the channel. Our average viewership the last 2 weeks is significantly higher than it used to be. So if you're just checking us out and it's the first time you've stumbled across our show, we appreciate you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button at the bottom of the screen if you're watching on YouTube. If you are on Facebook, like TJ Jones, who just commented, we would love for you to switch over to the YouTube channel. That's the easiest way to chat with everybody in the chat. And we're just trying to push the YouTube channel right now. We did just surpass 3,000 YouTube subscribers, like 24 hours ago, and we're already up to like 3,033, I think it is. So we're pushing towards 4,000 at this point, which would be a great goal by the end of the 2023 football season if we can get there this fall. Again, just wanted to give a quick shout out. Thank you to the new viewers, the returning viewers, the subscribers. We appreciate all you guys. We do this about 9 a.m. every morning. Mike joins us on Thursdays. We have different hosts on the various days. And so appreciate all you guys for checking us out. And hopefully we can entertain you or tick you off, or at least keep you watching and wanting to come back for the next show. And again, Kurt says it's not you guys, it's the football. That's probably the bottom line, right, Mike? Football season.
We're just the messengers. Everybody's here for Boise State football. We know that. And Boise State football is just a placeholder for Boise State basketball. And then we'll do it all again next year.
Yep, no doubt about it. Bill says congrats on the sub increases. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun seeing BNN kind of take off here. And Mike Prater, one of the reasons that has happened has been your addition to the team here. Your columns have been great. I think today may be the first one, though, where we can get through a whole column. I'm not worried about you ticking somebody off. I'm actually excited about this one. We just posted it for subscribers. I don't really want to go through the whole list because I don't want to give the whole column away for free, but I guess we can pick 4 or 5 guys, maybe, or a couple guys that we want to highlight. But if you are a paying subscriber at BroncoNationNews.com, you can go to the website right now and read Mike Prater's newest column, which was just posted about 20 minutes ago. And it is the 12 most interesting players on the Boise State football team. And there must be a lot of interesting guys, Mike, because the original thought was 10. You've added 2 more. 12 of the most, not necessarily for their, I guess it's a combination on the field, off the field, their backstories. The 12 most interesting players on the Boise State football team. And I assume you had some fun putting this list together.
Yeah, I did. And you helped me out. Jordan Kay helped me out. So a good little BNN team effort. I appreciate everything. I could have gone probably 15 to 18 deep as I was juggling some names.
Who did not make the list? Well, who did not? Maybe the tease could be who did not make the list that you thought about.
Herbert Gums didn't make the list, and I've never had any really extensive interview time with Herbert. I've done him once in a group interview. I know he's got a great story. He came over here from Katrina. Didn't really know anything. I don't think he'd ever been on a plane before he came to Boise State.
Never had been on an airplane before his visit to Boise State.
Yeah, so I'm interested in him. So he was certainly one guy, and one guy who started every game last year, and one guy who's very, very important. But I didn't feel like I got to know him. And that was kind of the impetus behind the column is we spend this entire offseason trying to learn a few X's and O's, but we learned mostly about these players, the new players, the old players. How you doing this offseason? How have you changed this offseason? And as I was out of practice the other day, I was thinking, gosh, there's a lot of players on here. And I keep thinking football and X's and O's and stuff. And I just wanted to tell some interesting stories about some really interesting people. So I had some fun doing it. I took a few jabs. There's one guy in there that's Mr. Mean Guy, and I told him he was Mr. Mean Guy, and I hope he doesn't get mad and beat me up because he is Mr. Mean Guy, but I had some fun with the column, and for the most part, BJ, you were right. I was kind of nice.
Yeah, we'll get to that. It was maybe my favorite line describing a player in the history of college football. We'll get to that in a second, but you didn't have Ashton Genty on your list either.
I mentioned him in the George Helani one, and not to give too much away, but I was more interested in George Helani, the mystery man, and why he came back. And then I said, this is a dude who could either end up in the NFL, one of the all-time great running backs in Boise State history, or be RB2 behind Ashton Genty, who, as you reminded me yesterday, grew up in Italy with a military family. He certainly has his own interesting story.
Anyway, there's already people ripping you for other guys you left off here. We love this. Chris V already read the column, says he would have had Max Stege on the list.
I've never met Max, and we know he's from Germany, and somebody did mention him as I was doing some reporting, but I've never met him. I know he's from Germany. I don't know anything else about him beyond that.
We have to wait till the end of the new rules, I guess, in terms of talking to freshmen. We have to wait till the end of the semester, right?
Yeah, he's a first semester guy. He's off
he
limits.
Might be out there playing. He sounds like he might get some playing time right away.
I don't think he's going to be on the scout team. So, yeah, he's definitely going to be in the rotation on a very deep defensive line. We will get a chance to know him, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him, but it probably won't be this football season. Everybody mentions that he's this big, great football player from Germany with a great upside and potential, but I need to know more about him, and I'm very curious about him as well.
Let us know your list there in the ICCU YouTube chat. Your the most interesting players for you, whether it be their backstory, family history, football background, or whether it's the need for them to step up this year and maybe they're in an interesting spot. Again, not to give the whole list away, Prater, but we can talk about a couple of these, and we're trying to tease folks and hope that they will eventually want to purchase a subscription here. But you mentioned the mean guy, and you're talking about Garrett Curran. I'll just read briefly what you said about Garrett Curran. Good football player, interesting because of his new look. Gladiator, warrior, looks mean, plays mean, and then maybe the best sentence of all time. A grown-ass man with a bald head, thick beard, arm tattoos, and 27 career starts. Think Walter White of Breaking Bad fame, but checking in at 6'5", 305. This fall camp, Curran convinced fellow starting guard Ben Dooley to shave his head. Nobody says no to Curran. He looks mean.
Yeah, he is absolutely mean. And when I saw him, we all saw him on the sidelines last week when he showed up with his bald head. He had that beard. He had that left arm sleeve. And I took a picture of his arm sleeve, by the way, and I blew it up on my phone camera looking for the details. I couldn't find like, I love mom, or, God bless this, or whatever. It had a bunch of like flowers or like tree limbs or floral arrangements. It was very, very odd, and I can't wait to talk to him next time with a follow-up question. What the hell's with your arm tattoo, your sleeve? What's that all about? I couldn't really describe it, so I just went generic and said he's got a whole bunch of tattoos.
You've got Prince Strawn on your list as well, and I know he's been a guy that we've talked about. Me and Jay Tuss talked about him yesterday. You stand him next to Taylon Green, and they wear these new helmets. They have this extra padding on it right now, and some of them have GoPro things attached to their helmet. It's kind of hard to tell, but Prince Strawn is every bit as tall as Taylon Green, if not taller, when you see them kind of close to each other. And I mean, you talk about interesting guys. I think that he would have to be on any list that any person puts together, fan, media member, whoever on this team, because you just watch him go. And I think we've even talked about this, but he just looks like an NFL wide receiver, and he's a freshman.
He's the only guy on my list that has never played for Boise State. And that's how intrigued I am by this guy. So great background. The Bahamas, brother plays in the NFL, lived with his brother, had the gray shirt, came over earlier this calendar year, blew up during the spring game with some highlight reel catches, and the coaches can't stop talking about him. So I think his upside's really good. I kind of felt bad because I left Eric McAllister off this list. And I think Eric McAllister, in terms of a football career, is just a little bit ahead of him and probably is just as interesting and might even have a better NFL type of a career down the road.
Yeah.
But Eric McAllister is certainly a very interesting guy, but Prince Strawn, he just stands out as somebody that you want to get to know better and somebody that you want to watch play football.
Perry says, looking forward to reading the article. These personal stories give us a little more incentive to root for these guys. So which guy on the list in terms of the personal story do you think is I know James Ferguson Reynolds, obviously coming from Australia. He talked about how he'd never played a real American style football game till that Oregon State game. And I actually am thinking big things are coming for James Ferguson Reynolds. I know he's the punter. It's not the sexiest thing to talk about, but at times last year, I thought later in the season, especially, I thought he improved. And once you hear his backstory, once you hear about how he literally had never, done an American style, American punt in an American game until that Oregon State game. And then when he was going on with his mom having breast cancer behind the scenes, and he's from Australia, nowhere near his family. That's a guy for me that I think year two could just be light years better than year one, because we heard so much about how accurate he is. And you could put a guy on the field and stand there and he could hit him, 10 times in a row. So he's got obviously an interesting one. I know Ahmed Hassanin, who Jordan Kay wrote an outstanding article about recently as well, but taking football completely out of it, which guy or two stands out to you on the personal side?
Well, it's part of football. Football is certainly part of it, and it is with all these guys. But how about Alexander Tubner, or Tubes as they like to call him? And there was
by the way, sorry to cut you off, but Jordan Kay actually in the next hour or two will be submitting a feature story on Alexander Tubner.
Nice, but I bet he won't have a line like I had in my column that said, the former walk-on with a cult-like following and a Hollywood mustache. Now, I'm not sure if Hollywood mustache is accurate, but that sucker stands out. And he's being compared to J.L. Skinner, which is kind of ridiculous. So 5'11", 195 versus 6'4", 220. One guy looks like he should be walking the beaches of Seaside, Oregon, and the other guy should be roaming a football field with the Denver Broncos. So Alexander Tubes, as they like to call him, he's just loved by teammates. He's loved by coaches. I cannot wait to see how he plays out this season. Everybody says he's going to be good. Everybody with that Boise State football family says he's going to be good. I'm a little skeptical, but we're all rooting for the guy because, again, he's got a cult-like following, BJ.
Hey, I know you're going to be jealous, Mike, but I'm having dinner tonight with Andy Rowe and his wife, and also Mark Ridley and his wife, a couple sponsors getting together, and they're both actually pilots. And I said, you guys need to meet each other and get together, and we're going to have a little dinner tonight. You came, Mike, back in January to our BNN night that we did, and these were the two of the sponsors that couldn't make it, and so I owed them a dinner, and we're going to get together tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. But rowpaint.com. Check it out. The best in the business when it comes to their concrete coatings. You heard Coach Leon Rice talking about it on the Canadian trip. He recently had Row Paint to his garage. He's actually going to be doing some commercials and things for him, so check that out coming forward. But it's so awesome, whether it's your garage, your basement, your back patio, one-day install, transformational look. Check them out, our title sponsor. We're very appreciative of rowpaint.com. The fall kickoff sale is going on, and as I mentioned yesterday, I was going to do it with Jay Tuss, but maybe we need to get Mike Prater out there as well. The day before the UCF game is the day we're targeting, September 8th. We're actually going to do our morning show broadcast from the back of an F-150 Lightning new electric F-150. And I went out there and saw them the other day, Mike. It is pretty amazing, the new F-150 Lightning, what they can do. And you lift up that front hood expecting to see an engine, and you see a whole space for storage and a whole extra trunk there. And they've got power outlets there. So we're going to be plugging our laptops and stuff right into the power outlets on the truck. And it's going to be pretty cool experience. So if you're looking for to save some money on gas, obviously, and help out the environment, they're more inexpensive than you think. The F-150 Lightnings, check them out at Lithia Ford of Boise. Idaho Central Credit Union, we appreciate them as well. ICCU.com. They brought you that exclusive interview. Taylon Green, Tyson Degenhardt on Tuesday night, 30-minute chat with the two GOATs right now in Boise State athletics. That was a lot of fun. If you didn't get a chance to see that, go back to the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. But great stuff. They're going back and forth, Mike, on their first career starts, on their recruitments, just kind of telling stories, very similar paths. Both of them coming in as freshmen, not starting right away, moving into the starting lineup, and now being kind of the faces of Boise State athletics. So great stuff. Go check it out. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. And, of course, Taco Bell, I mentioned it. You see it at the bottom of the screen, Mike. We have a few left. I got Taco Bell to give me some more. We ran out, and the Nicolason family and everybody over at SON, nice enough to give us a few more. So if you're on the fence, I know you want the basketball as well. We also have $20 gift cards to Taco Bell for anybody that signs up for a 1-year subscription in the next day or two until we, as I should say, while supplies last. Taco Bell, check them out, TacoBellGivesBack.com. They're doing a ton for the local community. Over $300,000, Mike, they've donated or pledged towards Boise State student-athlete scholarships over the next 5 years. So in addition to the food being very good at Taco Bell, they're helping out Boise State athletics in a big way, and we appreciate Taco Bell and their support here on Bronco Nation News. Last thing I want to mention on the column, Mike, before we move on to a couple of other topics here, and by the way, here's a close-up of the basketball if anybody couldn't see it earlier. The autograph ball, Tyson Degenhardt, number 2. You got the ICC logo on there. It's not a full-size ball, Mike. It is a little smaller, kind of like for a Papa Shot type thing, but it is a awesome thing, and we're appreciative of our relationship with ICCU, and we will get those out to folks here moving forward. But as I was proofreading your column, Mike, something stood out to me. It was the fact that you mentioned George Helani leading the team with 29 career starts. And I just paused for a second, and I went back and looked at the game notes from the Frisco Bowl. not to say you were wrong, but I said, man, that, with the times he's been injured, with everything else, and to think that 29 career starts is the most of anybody on the team going into the season, just caught me a little off guard. And I went back and checked, and a couple of the numbers, you have to triple check because the game notes were before the Frisco Bowl. But
yeah.
George Celani, I got George Celani at 29, Garrett Curran at 27, Riley Smith at 26, Dimitri Washington 23, and Steph Cobbs at 20. Those are your only 5 players that return with at least 20 career starts. And just to compare that, they lost 5 players that had at least 30 career starts. John Ojukwu, 51, Tyreek Jones, 38, Zeke Noah, 36, Scott Matlock, 32, JL Skinner, 31. So I know we knew there was a little changing of the guard. I know we knew they were losing some key guys, but when you see it on paper, 5 guys with 30 career starts gone, 4 of which are on defense. And the guy with the most career starts on defense, again, you lose, 4 guys with at least 31 career starts on defense. And the guy that has the most on defense is 23, Dimitri Washington. I don't know why, but just seeing that on paper, that kind of made me take a step back and kind of go, wow.
I didn't go 5 deep like you just did during my exercise with my column, but when I saw the George Helani number and realized, because I did the top 4 as well, all the way down to D-Wash, and realized Helani is the leader, and he doesn't have that many. And I thought to myself, John Ojukwu. So I went back and looked, and it stunned me. It stunned me that there was that big of a difference. But I also think that that's not a bad thing. I'm ready for a changing of the guard. I'm ready for an upgrade with this football team. It's year 3 of Andy Avalos, and I think he's somewhat reinvented this roster. So I think it's good. I think there's unbelievable talent coming up, and we'll have to see how it shakes out with this football season, but that's certainly something to keep an eye on. A massive loss of experience, and if this football team can't handle like the first 5 games, and we know what that schedule looks like, it might be because of the lack of experience on this roster.
Again, you can read Mike Prater's column if you're a paying subscriber, the 12 most interesting players on the Boise State football team at BroncoNationNews.com. We'd love for you to subscribe if you're on the fence. Hopefully it's to read Prater and Jordan, but if it's for the Taco Bell gift card or the basketball, that's we'll hook you up there as well. Mike, we're having scrimmage 2 on Saturday to talk about. We're almost essentially at the midway point of fall camp. We're pretty close to the halfway point here. 2 weeks from Saturday, obviously, is the first game. We have games next Saturday, believe it or not, to talk about. But overall, I mean, you mentioned you've been to all these practices. We've been at all the interviews. We've talked to Andy Avalos. At the midway point here, what's kind of stood out to you from this camp?
So far, so smooth. You always worry about going into camp and whether there's going to be an injury bug, our big roster change, some kind of a shakeup, any kind of news. And news during fall camp is never good. It's been really quiet. It's been really smooth. And I think Andy Avalos is feeling a sense of relief. But like you said, we're just barely halfway through this fall camp, and there's a lot to be done before that September 2nd opener against Seattle. But this team is fairly healthy. The roster's in good shape. I'm working on a column right now for BNN about Andy Avalos has never been in better shape in terms of his football team, in terms of the expectations for this season. And he's putting a lot of that on himself because of the things that he's saying. He always says positive things every season, just like every coach. Coach speak, new season. But I think Andy Avalos is taking it to a new level because he senses something pretty cool. So I'm not sure if we'll know it or figure it out because of that schedule, especially in the first month. But I'm really excited about this football team. So far, it's been really smooth and really nice.
I was talking to Jay Tust about this yesterday, or I guess it was Tuesday. But to me, I don't think there's been a position that's maybe improved more, or at least based on expectations, or at least and again, we're not watching a ton of team periods, so a lot of what we base our stuff off of is what people say and what coaches say and the narrative they feed to us. But for me, man, it's hard to not be encouraged about what you're hearing about the defensive line.
The depth is there. There's no doubt about it, but we have to see it. And I know we're a skeptical bunch, very skeptical about this. We talked about this yesterday on Idle Sports Talk with Ball Game in terms of the depth right there. He's done a great. It was the point of emphasis this entire offseason is to rebuild the depth on that defensive line, including coaches. I mean, he brought in Shenander, a very, very experienced coach. He brought in a blue blood like Jabril Frazier, a young coach. So he's got 2 new coaches there. That's part of building dependable depth and the lines. But I also worry about Kevon Wright, the kid out of Boston College, nowhere to be found. Is he going to end up on the scout team for crying out loud? Are all these transfers? Is all this new players going to work? I need to see it, BJ.
No doubt about it, but I think the defensive line, Andy Avalos, after the first scrimmage on Saturday, was very complimentary of them. Now, he did admit that George Hilani and Nash and Genti didn't get a ton of carries in that first scrimmage, which could make any defensive line look a little worse, I guess, probably. But what do you think going into scrimmage 2, this Saturday, in terms of everything we've heard, wherever we're at, if you had a chance to watch scrimmage 2, which we don't, but if we were able to sneak in, peek over the fence, watch scrimmage 2, what battles, what positions, what do you think they're trying to get some answers to here as they get ready to set this depth chart?
Whiting, I'm looking at Whiting, the wide receiver. Is he going to develop? Is he going to be consistent? Is he going to be on the field to become that 4th or 5th wide receiver? The second unit on the offensive line. I think Boise State's done a nice job mixing and matching his offensive line, but I think most of that's because the 3 interior guys, the 3 starters, can move from right guard to left guard to right guard, or even play center. So I'm worried about maybe the back half of the depth or the second group with the offensive line. The coaches may know it. We don't know it. There's some names out there that people are talking about, but they're unproven. The Schmitz and the Moores and the Ethan Cards, some of these other new faces that are expected to contribute. So the second half of that offensive line is a big concern with me. I know the first half of the offensive line is a big concern to Bronco Nation. So everybody keep your eye on the offensive line. If I was at Saturday's scrimmage, and I can't be, peeking through the fence, it'd be kind of fun and kind of nice, but I would keep a very close eye on the rotation of the offensive line and what those guys are doing, Unit 1 and Unit 2.
Hey, if you need some new Boise State gear for the season, check out the blueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. Or if you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall. They're on the second floor. The largest selection of Boise State gear anyway. I mean, it's anywhere. It's literally an entire store just for Boise State fans. So check it out, the blueandorangestore.com. Ridley's Family Markets, check them out as well. If you're looking for a local grocer, a big supporter of the local sports scene here, shopridleys.com. You can find a location near you. There's 13 in the state of Idaho. And if you go download the Shop Ridley's app in your smartphone, you can get exclusive savings up to 40%. Next time you think grocery stores, think local, think Ridley's Family Markets. United Commercial Insurance, you need business insurance, they can help you out every step of the way. 44 states around the country, they can write business policy insurance. We had to up our liability insurance once we brought Mike Prater on board. We were able to do that through United Commercial Insurance, unitedcommercialinsurance.com. Check them out. You will not be disappointed. I'm going this afternoon to check out the regularly scheduled checkup at the dentist. I'll be seeing Dr. Minert talking Boise State sports in the chair this afternoon. So if you're looking for a new dentist for the full family, a fun, enjoyable experience, check out BoiseDentistryCo.com. 5 locations in the Treasure Valley, BoiseDentistryCo.com. And Mike, right now, this show that we do next Thursday, you'll be in the studio and I'll be in Las Vegas. I guess we won't. We got to talk about that, actually. You're going to be driving down to the Utah game next week, right? So we'll have to.
It's in 2 weeks. Yeah, in 2 weeks.
Oh, it's not 0 week. It's week 1. Okay, so you're good.
Yeah.
All right, then good. I can taunt you. I'll be at Circa Resort and Casino next Thursday. You will be back in the rowpaint.com studios there. We're helping promote their contest weekend. I've had a couple people reach out to me. They're interested in getting involved in the contest. You have to sign up in Nevada at Circa, either in Reno, Sparks, or in downtown Las Vegas at Circa Resort and Casino, but you can play from anywhere using a proxy. So it's completely legal. It's even though the gambling laws in Idaho are different, it's 100% legal to do it this way through a proxy. So if you're interested in signing up to win either $8 million in the Survivor League or $6 million in the Circa Millions, we have a couple listeners that are interested in splitting an entry fee with somebody. You guys can split the prize pool. Let me know. Reach out, send me an email or send me a direct message. I can help sign you up while I'm down there, get you connected with the proxies. We did it last year. It's very easy. You make your picks online, then the proxy goes in and actually makes the pick for you at Circa. And very easy process, and it's a lot of fun. And they're bringing in radio stations, podcasts from all over the country next weekend. There's going to be some meet and greets and two open bar events. Mike Prater, you should have made it down there.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
And if anybody does happen to go down and sign up while they're there, you can take, if you want to go to Vegas, you happen to be in Las Vegas area, or you can make it down next weekend. You can sign up for the contest and then get to partake in these events and things and meet the owner, Derek Stevens, and some other stuff going on. So looking forward to that. We're supposed to have him join us for an interview next week. So maybe I can do that while you're on as well, Mike, so we can, I know you've got some questions for Derek Stevens, the owner of Circa, but looking forward to that. It'll be, again, less than a week away. And final question real quick, Mike, as we are up against the clock, but is it weird at all, or what do you make of this weird silence where we're at right now in conference realignment? We're just not hearing much right now. We're hearing some rumors, but not from the main people. It sounds like that now you have politicians involved and former presidents and people trying to lobby for teams. What do you make about where things stand right now?
I think we're just waiting for Stanford. We're really just waiting for Stanford, and maybe Stanford's waiting for the AAC to make some kind of a decision. I know they're really close on votes. Stanford doesn't quite have the votes. If Stanford, and I don't know if Cal is ever going to get sucked into the ACC. Maybe they will, just on the tail light of Stanford. But Stanford's waiting. The ACC is waiting. I think they're at some kind of a standstill. It's very, 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 very complicated. Very complicated. So it has to have a sense of urgency. I would expect something in the next week or two, certainly before games start here in a couple of weeks. But it's been a very curious week with a lot of nothing, for sure.
Well, I don't know what folks have planned from 3 to 6 today, but you are not going to want to miss Idaho Sports Talk with Prater in the ball game. Mike, big show coming up today.
Kalen DeBoer, University of Washington head football coach, gave Ballgame and myself about 25 minutes of time after practice last night. So we stuck around and recorded that interview. It's an amazing interview. It starts off with Chris Peterson and finishes with Chris Peterson. And in between, we're going to make you really smart about that football team. And we'll have another guy, Dave Softy Mahler. He's like the BJ Rains of Seattle, the radio legend in Seattle, Dave Softy Mahler. So it's kind of a Washington Huskies day here on Idaho Sports Talk.
3 to 6 today. Don't miss it. Bob, Prater, JP, Johnny, the whole crew there as they get you set. As you guys call it, the world's longest pregame tailgate show.
Yes,
we're barely 2 weeks away now from kickoff, so that'll be great stuff here in the former Fresno State, now Washington head coach with his thoughts on Boise State heading in to the season opener here in 2 weeks. So that's 3 to 6, KTIK.com, the KTIK app, or of course you can listen live 1350 AM, 95.3 FM. 1350 a.m. again, the tickets. So, Mike, appreciate you as always. Thanks to JP for getting us on. Thanks again to all of our folks for watching, for hitting that like button, for hitting that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. And we'll do it again 9 a.m. with Jay Tuss tomorrow. And again, we got Cortez Hogan's, Tyler Crow, I believe, and Kanohi Kaniho talking at 11:30 after practice today. We'll get those interviews up on the YouTube channel later. Have a great rest of your day. Go subscribe and read Mike Prater's column. Jordan Kay's got some stuff coming as well today. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.